Hey listeners, it's Jayadharini from Beneath the Surface. I'm excited to tell you about our second episode of our podcast, which revolves around true crime cases. I'm excited to bring you along as we dive into the story of one of the true crimes and the most infamous mystery. This story is anything but straightforward. With this in mind, Sreenithi is joining me on this journey back to Hollywood's golden age.
Would you ever imagine about leading a toy box and a cruel kidnapper? So this podcast is all about the crime, the toy box killer. We are now talking about an American kidnapper, torturer, serial rapist and suspected serial killer, all in a single person named David Parker Ray. Would you believe 60 murders in a row without a definitive evidence? Yes, sadly that happened.
Ray kidnapped, tortured, raped an unknown number of women at his home in Butte, New Mexico, occasionally assisted by his daughter Glenda Jean Jessie Ray and partner Cindy Henry. Ray used soundproofing methods on a semi-trailer which he called his toy box and equipped it with items used for sexual torture. He had a routine of kidnapping 4 to 5 women a year and caged them for around 2 to 3 months. During this period, he would sexually abuse his victims and often torture them with surgical instruments. It sounds shocking that at times he even invited his friends, wife, and his male dog to rape the victim. In order to erase the memory of the victim, he would cruelly drug the victim with barbiturates and abandon them by the side of the roads.
He presumably killed his victims using whips, chains, pulleys and straps, clamps, leg spreader bar, surgical blades, electric shock machines, saws and whatnot. Reportedly, Ray constructed elaborate contraption to confine his victims such as lined coffins and makeshift pillory. At the highest point of cruelty, he had attached a mirror just above the obstetric table to which he strapped his victims so that they would be able to see themselves being raped and tortured. He has been said to have wanted his victims to see everything he was brutally doing to them. Ray had an audio tape recording of his voice to be played when his victims regained consciousness.
Sequence of murder came to an end in May 1999. Ray was arrested after one of his victims escaped and was convicted of kidnapping and torture in 2001. On May 1999, Ray was taken to Lea County Correctional Facility in Hobbs, New Mexico. Shortly before a planned police interrogation, he died of a myocardial infarction on May 28, 2002.
Ray stalked the trailer, which he called the toy box, and gave him the name the toy box killer. In total, Ray is believed to have spent about $1 lakh on the trailers, fitting it with sex toys and torture devices, which depicts him as a real psychopath. And here we comes to a conclusion of our second episode of our podcast, Beneath the Surface.